Did you know in Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone, Robin Williams was desperate to play Hagrid? Throughout the Harry Potter franchise, the comedy legend and iconic actor Robin Williams always seemed to have his name attached to the films. Robin was such a fan that he reached out to the film's director, Chris Columbus, asking if he could play Hagrid, and later asking the same to play Remus Lupin. Unfortunately for Williams, he was rejected twice as they wouldn't break the British-only casting ruling, even for a versatile actor like himself. Instead, the roles went to Robbie Coltrane and David Thewlis. Did you know in Ratatouille, the ratatouille that Remy makes was designed by the famous real-life chef Thomas Keller, who's renowned for his culinary skills and his exceptionally high standards. He's the first and only American-born chef to hold multiple 3-star ratings from the prestigious Michelin Guide. So it's no wonder that they hired him as one of their consultants for this movie. Interestingly, the dish that was served in the movie wasn't actually ratatouille per se, but a vegetable confit bialdi, a kindred Turkish dish. It has the same flavor profile as ratatouille, and it's a lot prettier. Did you know in Sherlock Holmes, the bridge under construction is actually the Tower Bridge, which was worked on from 1886 to 1894, taking over 8 years to complete. It's a large suspension drawbridge spanning the River Thames in East London. It's one of the most famous bridges in the world. It was designed by Horace Jones and engineered by John Wolfe Barry with the help of Henry Mark Brunel. This iconic bridge was given its name because the Tower of London, which is located on one of its sides. It's now one of the most popular destinations for tourists in London. Did you know in Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them, Newt Scamander may be autistic, probably on the Asperger spectrum. He clearly showed evidence of being a high-functioning autistic, especially with his introverted personality, asocial behavior, distaste of human contact, and extreme fascination with one specific topic. For example, Newt never makes eye contact with another person in the films. He tries, but his eyes always dart off in another direction, even if he's having a fairly intimate conversation. His focus on his magical creatures makes so much sense when looked at through a lens like this. He clearly has trouble dealing with people and is simply more comfortable interacting with the various animals. Did you know in Doctor Strange, a reference to the 1993 classic Groundhog Day is made? During a close-up of Stephen Strange's watch, you can see that the time and date is Tuesday, February 2nd at just over 5:15. This indicates that his car crash coincided exactly with Groundhog Day. This Easter egg is most likely a nod to Bill Murray's Groundhog Day, which heavily features a time loop that's very similar to the one Doctor Strange uses in the film's final battle against Dormammu. Did you know in War of the Worlds, the plane crash scene cost $2 million to build? One of the most memorable scenes in the movie is when Ray, played by Tom Cruise, walks through the wreckage of an aeroplane crash. Rather than having the art department create what they could as the set, production decided to instead buy a retired Boeing 747 and demolish it to create the wreckage. Acquiring this plane cost them $2 million out of their budget. But rather than go to waste, the wreckage still sits on Universal Studios' backlot and is a viewing point for tourists. Did you know in The Greatest Showman, there's the scene where Barnum tries to convince Carlisle to join his new circus, and he tries to tell him that he has a flair for show business. Originally, the scene was supposed to be much longer, and Carlisle talks about how he doesn't know what show business is. Then Barnum tells him that he just invented it. While this was used in the final cut, it was used in most of the trailers. Did you know in The Cable Guy, Jim Carrey needed a basketball consultant for The Cable Guy because he was that bad at basketball? Apparently it didn't help either, because when filming the scene in which the Cable Guy plays basketball, it became obvious that Jim Carrey could barely dribble a basketball. Never mind make a basket. Ben Stiller had Carrey mime the action without a ball, and visual effects added the basketball in post-production.